Sanatana Dharma, Atma Dharma, Bhakti Bhajan, there are certain required rites and rituals called sanskaras that we observe because we're human beings, and these are prescribed in the Dharma Shastras. There's 20 Dharma Shastras that describe the rules and rites and rituals and pujas and yagyas for the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. So this is the varna ashram system. But then the Vaishnava is an interesting position because the Vaishnava, ostensibly one becomes a Vaishnava to attain liberation from the material world and to attain Vaikuntha and either the happiness of living there or having a form like that, or just the happiness personally desiring that spiritual type of Sarupya, Salokya, Sharsti, Samipya type of liberation of Vaikuntha, still to get that, fulfill one's desire to enjoy in Vaikuntha, one has to perform bhakti and attain perfection. But many people go to Vaikuntha by practicing bhakti and they attain prema, and they want to serve Vishnu. Kapila Muni says towards the end of his teachings, says, I don't want any kind of liberation if there's no devotional service. I don't want Sarupya, Salokya. It's in the 3rd canto, chapter 25, maybe last verse or so of that chapter, of that canto. It's very interesting. He says, Kapila's teaching his mother. In other words, he says, I don't even want to go to Vaikuntha if there's no devotional service. Which means in Vaikuntha there are many devotees that aren't doing any seva.
Don't do any seva.
No. You can read the tikas of this verse and learn more. 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 29, verse 13. He says, Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, Sarupaikatvam, Apyuta, Diyamanam Nagrinanti, Vina Matsevanam Jana. He said a pure devotee, a jana, a devotee, a Krishna Bhakta, he doesn't want any kind of Vaikuntha liberation, including Salokya, Vaikuntha liberation, or Sharshti, Samipya, Sarupya, if they are offered by Krishna. So many want those things, and they do bhakti bhajan, and they attain promotion of Vaikuntha. They have the same form or same opulence or proximity to, and they enjoy, but they don't have prem with the mood of seva. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, part 1, chapter 2, in the beginning. He said there are 2 kinds of devotees in Vaikuntha. One is seva, prem seva rupita, and the other is, one is in Vaikuntha, he's predominated by the desire to lovingly serve Vishnu. And another resident of Vaikuntha is predominated, it's called Sukai Shotara. Sukai Shotara and Premo Sevotara. One type of devotee, Vishnu Bhakta in Vaikuntha, he's predominated by the desire for sukha, happiness, spiritual, divine. I just want to be happy and live in a beautiful place and have a beautiful body and just feel good about living in the same planet as Vishnu. So he's enjoying spiritual happiness. No seva, no prem. This is the 2 types, Sukai Shotara and Seva Uttara. They both have developed prem, but one is selfish prem and one is selfless prem. Very interesting. You can read the tikas of that verse also. 3rd canto, chapter 29. You can see that again. Kapila Shiksha. Very nice tikas by by Vishnu Chakravarti and Sridhar Maharaj. Maybe others too. 3rd canto, chapter 29, verse 13. not very well understood verse generally. Yeah, so the religious functions, the Vivaha Yagya is a Vedic religious function, which is bringing a husband and wife together, and there are considerations in all these dharmic functions. They're called karma kanda. Kanda means actions in the platform of karma. So we have to consider kala, desha, and patra. What time, the day, the month, the year, and the desh, the place, the location, the setting, and the persons involved. What are their janma kundalis? Are they compatible astrologically to get married? Many, many factors. Do they have the same jati, social class? What are the physical factors? Skin tone, is it skin tone of the husband and wife, and the size and weight, and janam horoscope, many, many things. These are all karmic considerations which are required. So one thing about marriage in Shastra is it says during Chaturmasya, no auspicious functions should be performed. No Griha Pravesh, no Vivaha Yagya, no building a new house or entering a new house, opening a temple. Many things are there during this time. Opening a new temple means what? Means opening a temple to one of the devatas. Mm-hmm. And it means marriages that are performed for material purposes. When we speak about Vaishnavas, and when you, for example, if you're going to take initiation in Karma Kanda, particular Karma Kanda mantra, to attain the fruits of your desire by worshipping a particular Ishtadev, no one will give you that initiation during Chaturmasya. You'll have to get the mantra at some other time, then you can chant through Chaturmasya. Because it's karma kanda. But for Vaishnava mantra, there is no Purushcharan. There's that verse in the processes that are required for ordinary karma kanda mantras aren't required. So for the Vaishnava, although there are particular times and places and individuals, the qualification of the individual, and the proper month and proper date and time is there in the Shastras. So Chaturmasya is amangal. It's not meant for any of these taking mantra diksha or getting married or anything. So nobody does. But as far as Vaishnava marriage or taking Vaishnava diksha, there are rules described there that it's a prerogative of the guru. There's nothing amangal for Krishna consciousness. Bhakti is transcendental, and everything about bhakti and everything about Krishna, his name, his form, his qualities. The mantra, Diksha mantra, is Krishna, Sakshat Krishna. So Krishna is transcendental. He's gunatit. He controls the three modes of nature. Davyesha gunamayi mama maya dharatya. It's my maya. So this Triguna Maya is Krishna's Maya. He controls it all. And he's Gunatit. He's conquered. He's above it all. He's not influenced at all. So if the Guru is, he may be in a bad part of the city, in some tamasic part of the city, riding on a bus, and some man gets on the bus and he sits and talks with him for 15 minutes, and he may decide to be inspired to give him Diksha right on the bus. So there's no fire yagya, there's no anything so-called proper rites and rituals. So all these rules of Chaturmasya, know this and know that, they don't apply to serving Krishna, and everything that the devotee does, Vaishnava marriage or receiving Diksha, they can be done anytime, but if possible, even the Vaishnava or Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru, as much as possible, they will also try to uphold the Vedic rites and rules about these functions. I've included, Srila Prabhupada also included, generally when they're going to give initiation, they look at the calendar, they look at the pancham, They try to find an auspicious day and time, like appearance days of Bhagavan or the appearance days of great saints. Of course, there are other days also. Many things to consider. But that's because why do we take mantra? So we can attain Krishna and see Krishna and develop love for Krishna. Attain perfection. That's why we take Vaishnava mantra. And why do we get married? If we're a brahmachari or serving Krishna, somehow we feel we need to be married. So now we're married, so we keep serving Krishna with our wife. We may double our service. We may be a little lazy, unmotivated brahmachari. But then when we get married, we may be very highly motivated and highly energetic brahmachari, married person. So the marriage function or the Diksha function for the Vaishnava or Gaudiya Vaishnava is simply to increase his service to Krishna and to deepen and develop his personal bhakti bhajan, which is totally transcendental and gives the fruits of liberation, moksha. It doesn't give fruits in this material world. It may or may not. But bhakti gives bhava and bhava gives prema, and it's all given by Krishna. So we don't have to worry or consider so much about these rules and regulations. If we can, it's nice, we should try to do. Usually acharyas I've seen in Gaudiya mission, they try to follow the auspicious days and events for various diksha functions. I've never seen too many marriage functions done. That seems to be more of the ISKCON practice, gurus involved in the marriage. And generally in India and the spiritual groups, the marriage is a private matter of the man and woman. And the guru and the spiritual mission of the guru, they're simply for the soul, or the paramarthic development and culturing of one's spiritual practices and bhajan. But what school to go to and how many kids to have and who to marry and when to marry. Generally the gurus in India, they don't deal anything with this. They don't arrange to marry their disciples to each other and these type of things. But I can't say that's right or wrong, but we don't see any tradition for that in the greater spiritual realm of India. That's a private matter. Guru has his role to play, and he plays his role and he doesn't interfere.